It is 7:37. Welcome back to the show, folks. We appreciate you listening in and also watching. This is a live broadcast we do once a week, and we do it for about an hour. And today we've invited our very first guest to be with us live on Facebook. And that would be Bill Zigler, who is joining us live. He's the city manager of the city of Lindsay. Bill, good morning to you.
Good morning, Hopper.
I'm doing well here. I'm not sure why I'm not getting you, but let me turn it up again. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Hopper.
There we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
If I use the right buttons, it works better sometimes.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the monitor, and Bill, you look great on TV. How about that?
You know, I won't even go there. I say, I have a face for radio, but we've all said that, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Well, shall we jump in, you think?
I think so.
All right. You want to kick it off?
Well, yeah, let's start with this unfortunate traffic fatality. I think it was a 15-year-old high school girl that was killed earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was. It was tragic. We got the call to go out there a little after lunchtime. For the locals that are familiar with Todd's Hill, it appeared that you had a group of kids crest the top of the hill at speed, come down the west side, lose control, go through a masonry fence, take out a utility pole. And unfortunately, the young lady wasn't strapped in and was ejected from the car. The rest of the kids in the car had minor scratches, and so it's truly tragic.
Now, is this a curvy road? Because I'm trying to equate it to Rocky Hill. What we used to do when I was in high school was, well, I would push my bike up because I was not that good at it.
Yeah.
But then you get to the top and then coast down, and there were some decent wipeouts. Fortunately, I never wiped out, but that was a bit of a danger. Plus, you have the oncoming cars. So is it kind of a similar setup at Todd's Hill?
It's not as curvy as Rocky. You have the sharp curve at the bottom of the hill at Rocky. It's not exactly straight, and the pavement goes up and down a little bit. It's just a really easy place to lose control if you're not paying attention. And there have been accidents there over the course of years because that's what kids do. You know, you can feel yourself lift a little bit as you go over the top and then come down. And unfortunately, the skills aren't there, and maybe the decision making's not there either. So it ended in tragedy in this case.
Yeah, and when you're young and a teenager like that, Bill, everybody wants to get their license and drive. But in the report that we saw, it said that it was a 20 mile per hour zone, and the youngster was going 60, I think is what they said. So
yes,
you got to watch those curves, and you got to watch the speed limit too. All right. Well, before we continue on, I want to say, because these folks are the first time, and I want to make sure that we get them on the air today. This is Dee Dee at Pacific Plaza Hotel. Huh?
Hey.
That's pretty good. I'm glad you're viewing us. We appreciate it over there because you're one of my favorite hotels, too. There's a little plug for you so you can make the price a little lower for me. Probably won't work. I know.
Worth a shot, though.
Yeah. Jason Blassingame is listening in. John Keys, Kurt Feige up north. It's Operative Board PK. Hey, how you doing? Pam Kimball, Carlton Jones, and a bunch of others that we already mentioned once or twice. So
where's my mom?
Thank you. I don't know where your mom is. She's probably sleeping in. But anyway, we have, of course, Bill Zigler is here. He's the city manager of Lindsay. And I think I'm going to start with this new self-help apartment complex. I know we've talked about it before. But how's it coming along, Bill?
You know, there's a lot of earth being moved out there. Folks were watching. It was an old homestead. You know, when we used to plant citrus back in the day, we would have palm trees that would come with the citrus, and so you had a palmed-lined driveway. And self-help, when they went out there, they wanted to incorporate as many of the existing features as they could, but they found that the palms weren't going to work. And so our residents were seeing the palms getting trimmed up and cleaned up, but then they were repurposed. They were hauled away, and they're sold, and they'll wind up at somebody's grand hotel or something. So that's taken place. A lot of earth-moving equipment is out there. They are in full construction mode right now. And we are also chasing our part of pursuing the roundabout and working with engineers on that. And we'll be doing our outreach meetings sooner rather than later on that.
And I know that we've talked about, self-help, obviously, is, what was it? What's it? Low income? Is that the word I'm looking for?
This one will be. This will be affordable housing for those that are...
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Okay. But, no, and then we also talked about the need for a little higher end as far as homes are concerned. I mean, when you got other things coming in, obviously there's going to be big things happening all around you, and then you've got, green power people are going to want to buy. They're going to want to settle down somewhere. And so how is that? I mean, are we still looking at some of those, Bill?
Well, we are in our Autumn Hills Estates subdivision. Those are all pre-sold. I think we have 12. Last time I talked to you, we had 10 pre-sold. It's a 40-lot subdivision, so it seems to be going well. They're completing them quickly. People are moving in, and we hope that this starts a greater trend of that. As we've mentioned previously, we've got about 400 employees associated with the Lindsay Unified School District. We would love to capture some of those teacher classified staff to live in the town in which they work. So we're going to pursue that as aggressively as we can.
That'd be very, very cool. PK?
I'm just curious, for the longest time we were talking about, and I think that what last operated as Tulare Frozen Food, and that building had changed hands. A man from Visalia had bought it, and with the plans of moving his business to there, or at least part of his business there. Anything new on that? Because that's been kind of quiet.
Well, I've had a meeting with Mr. Hansen recently, and we are exploring different opportunities there. In fact, there's talk about cannabis. And so you say cannabis, and all the red flags go up, and my goodness, what will we do? I think California's made that determination for us about whether or not it can happen. And so as you'll see our agenda, we're starting to talk about it. My council is right now just evaluating. They're looking at it. What are the pros? What are the cons? And we know that the state is still sorting this out. And so it's a discussion, and we want to pursue all opportunities that are out there that are legitimate and that make sense for our community. Certainly, it's a polarizing topic, but we hope to get informed so we can make informed decisions when the time comes.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I mean, we've got so many different types of businesses and things like that are coming in. So when you have one, we've talked about that for a long time. So I'm thinking, what's next?
Well, when you mentioned that part of the building they're talking about cannabis, are you talking about the growing for medicinal or recreational or what? Yeah,
that's a great question. I think the sense that I have right now is the council and the community probably would not support it being sold in the community, but say it was in a warehouse environment where you didn't see it, you didn't smell it, you didn't know it was there. It was simply grown, packaged, and shipped out somewhere else where perhaps you could collect excise tax. It's something worth looking at. Again, council's not showing their hand if they're supportive of it or not supportive of it. We're just gathering information right now.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the feds have changed nothing.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's the out that some people are using.
Well, I think it is.
I don't know.
And as the conversation has unfolded, apparently there are dispensaries in Washington, D.C., and some local police chiefs, as they have been interviewed, saying, you know what, when they go after D.C., we'll start getting concerned. The feds, that is, will get concerned in California. So, it's still unfolding for certain.
All right, PK.
I'm just curious, is because the whole hold up about it federally being illegal. I mean, come on. Why do we have to have two separate? I mean, most of the states are starting to fall in line, and the residents there, the voting residents, are voting to make it available for medicinal and recreational purposes, and it's getting close to more than half of the states. Why doesn't the federal government just pull out and say, you know what, it's your state issue, and we're just going to take this off the books, do with it what you will?
I don't know. Bill, what do you think?
I don't know that I have much of an opinion. I certainly do not support, the smoking cannabis myself, but there are plenty that swear by the medicinal benefits of it. But again, California has made the call as to whether or not it's legal. The feds are at odds, but they're at odds in several areas.
But that's true.
And I think that this is maybe a little like prohibition back in the day when it wasn't regulated but allowed to be run on the black market. You had much more severe issues. And so the hope is, this is, if it is able to last, the joke is you're going to have Budweiser monitoring this, Marlboro monitoring this. And when you do, you're going to have all the regulation in place that you could possibly need. Now, what do we do between now and then? Well, every small town is looking at ways of raising revenues. The state has made it extremely difficult for us to do that and put more and more responsibilities. That's my broken record theme that I share with you guys. And so we're going to look at every legitimate opportunity that we can.
And Woodlake will be asking their voters to approve or not a tax on the production of medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Am I remembering that correctly?
You are.
Okay.
You are. Let me. I just want to insert this right here because this is Stephanie Velasquez. Are you familiar with her?
I am indeed.
Okay. Well, she's watching us right now. Hi. Stephanie. And so, between being silly, this comes out, and it's definitely want to keep our learning facilitators in town, which is kind of what you're talking about, Bill. Lindsay has so much to offer, and it's a wonderful place to live. I'm reading from Facebook right now, folks. So,
okay.
And it's going to be an awesome place to have more affordable housing opportunities for families. But Lindsay needs to also have options for single teachers and or small families who can afford condos or something like that. And you make some very valid points there, Stephanie. Thank you for sending that in here on Facebook and KTIP.com. So I say that, and at the same time, there's a huge shortage of teachers.
Well, there's a shortage of teachers. We seem to be doing well in Lindsay, however, and they received the $28 million grant to further up their game for the education that they can provide. And we've had talks previously in the community about providing, condominiums and so forth. The Sweetbriar townhomes were like that. But I think back in the day, the only monies available that we had any access to or control over was for affordable housing. So you build affordable housing. Pretty soon that's all you have. And that's not necessarily going to attract your single educators and single professionals. But we do want to go after that group too, especially as we see that there's a desire for folks to want to pursue that.
Well, let me ask you this. What makes Lindsay thrive? There's just a blatant question right there.
What makes it thrive?
In your mind,
In my mind, I see wonderful people that come together and put on events in the community, whether it be the upcoming Rib Cook-Off or the recent Menudo Pozole, Orange Blossom Festival. My gosh, folks come back from the East Coast to celebrate OBF with their friends, participate in the parade, go out to the park. We have our recreation facilities that are in town. We have award-winning education happening there. And I think we have a community that has a very connected identity. I think they see themselves rooted in agriculture, in citrus back in the day, in olives. That's changing as we are going through this generation. But I think there are very many people that are proud to call the small community home and want to be there forever and see their kids thrive there as well.
Absolutely. And it's obviously very cool when you're driving on 65. When that all gets done down the road, it's going to be even better because it's easy. I hope it's still going to be easy on or easy off and easy back on.
We hope to make it easier.
Yeah, I hope so.
So what makes Lindsay thrive? That was a little 16-minute video that's on the city's webpage that I thought.
I
watched a little bit of it this morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was wondering because it's done very nicely. But how did it wind up on the city's website? Was this like a school project that they had to approach you about?
It was a school project, and yes, we had some folks that were interviewed for it. We knew that it was taking place, and it's mutually beneficial because the quality of education that occurs is a collaboration between the community and the school district. Nothing happens in isolation, and so we've created opportunities for recreation, opportunities for a variety of things, and so it was a collaborative effort. And yeah, we wanted to share it as well once the video was completed.
It's awesome.
Very cool.
Listen, we've got about 2 minutes left in this segment. So, Bill, I'm going to open this up to you and let you tell us what's coming up, maybe? I don't know.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
On Friday for Coffee in the Park, I'm going to have District 1 County Supervisor Kyler Crocker joining me. 9 o'clock, we're going to be at the northeast portion of the park, and he covers Exeter, Farmersville, Lemon Cove, Lindsay, Strathmore, Three Rivers, East Visalia. And so if you're in those areas and you want to meet your supervisor, your county supervisor, please come out and join in with us. His passions are water. His passions are policing, our public safety. So we invite you to come out and visit with us about that. Also, we're going to have a haunted house that starts tomorrow, October 20th. Dr. Tortolotz, if I'm saying that correct, haunted house. It's just east of City Hall. He used to live there, and he practiced medicine from there as well. And we've had paranormal activity investigations occur there. That was the place that I had first worked when I came to the city, and we would hear these unusual sounds coming from upstairs. And so it's only $5. There will be several opportunities to pass through here, but it opens tomorrow. We encourage you to come out and enjoy that. Admission is only $5, and the proceeds will benefit the Lindsay Museum and Gallery. I want to announce that we have no parking posted on the south side of Tulare Road adjacent to the high school. That's upon request of the Lindsay Unified School District. The school district will provide parking for those folks that were parking there, and I think you can check with the school at the high school office to determine where it is that you should park, but that started this past Wednesday. And finally, we're going to have a health fair at the city park on October 28th from 8 until noon. First 150 participants will get a free T-shirt. There's going to be a 3K run, a bike rodeo, diabetes training, flu shots, and much, much more. We'll discuss more next Thursday. And those are my announcements.
Well, we appreciate that very, very much. By the way, I have, where did I do with those that I had over here?
T-shirt right there?
Yeah.
On
Where?
the table. Right behind. There you go.
If you could hand me that,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Woohoo!
What we have right here, because I know most of you, but these are new because we put the logo on the front this time.
Yay.
And thought it was kind of cool. So let me show it to you if I can. I don't know if that's going to show up or not, but it's the brand new KTIP logo, and I would like for you to have one of these, Bill.
Well, thank you very much.
So there you go. Hand that over to Bill.
There you go.
I appreciate that.
It's a medium size because that's all we have right now.
Well, I'll have to work at getting into the medium then, won't I?
Yes.
I think it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, well, you notice I'm not wearing one. So.
Hey,
There you
folks,
go.
can I do one more plug?
Absolutely.
I did bring some Frankie's burritos down here for the
yeah.
staff at the station here and up on the
Awesome.
4th floor. I know that they will enjoy it.
That's correct.
But it's from the Lindsay Golf Course. Thank you, Frankie, for providing these. And thank you, KTIP, for hosting this. And we do appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
And
so,
we like free food.
well, yeah, free food.
Yeah.
It's part of the business, isn't
Alcohol's good too.
it? No, it isn't.
Next time.
Yeah, not in the morning, though, for sure.
All right.
There was one thing I was going to say. Now I've kind of forgot. Oh, tell Stephanie, Hopper don't do Zumba.
She would convince you.
She probably would.
Yeah.
I'm glad you folks are all listening in. Thanks to everybody for watching us. We got to take a break. We got a few more minutes, but I've got to get in our financial report coming up. And Bill, pleasure having you here. Thank you for coming all the way from Lindsay.
Pleasure being here, folks.
All right. Thank you, sir.